Attention maggots, this is Sergeant Slaughter from WWE and G.I. Joe, the real American hero. You're listening to Mega Power Radio. Don't touch that dial. And that's an order.
Shut up.
What's shaking, folks? It is February 29th. I feel like I can never say that. Here we are, Monday night following Raw. MegaPowersRadio.com is where you've tuned your browsers to for the most interactive post-Raw experience available, the Raw Post Show here on Mega Powers Radio. If this is your first time tuning in, we got lots of way to be inviting you out there to get involved. And we want to do that because we had a packed edition of Raw with Triple H doing a beatdown of a former Shield member at the end of the... Wait, didn't we do this last week? Well, we had... What else did we have? Nothing! We're actually not going to have a lot to talk about. But if you want to invite yourselves in to talk about something with that you did think of, or if you want to talk about the build to WrestleMania, you can use our SpeakPipe widget. You can tweet to us, you can hit the Mega Maniacs Facebook group, and you can hit the chat room below. If you enjoy the Raw Post Show, support us by following us on Facebook, on Twitter. We're also on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, pretty much anywhere podcasts can be found. But the number one way you can support us is with a voluntary subscription. And I say that voluntary because we do bring you the show for free, ad-free, every single Monday night following Raw. And we do it purely out of the funness that we think it is. But it is a costly expenditure. We don't do this for free on our own end. We do have to keep the servers live, we have to have equipment, and we have to do lots of things to keep this going together. So, if you would like to support us to help this continue going and perhaps grow, get better equipment, find new ways to promote the show, your donations are considerable help getting us into those directions. Like I said, completely voluntary for as little as $1 a month. Find us on Patreon, Mega Powers Radio. All right, fellas, but while we're going to get started here with the panelists, my name is Mike Payton, station director here at Mega Powers Radio and host of the Raw Post Show every single Monday here. Along with me, I have the Smack Talk guest host of the year, finding some time in his busy schedule to join us on the Monday Night Raw Post Show, Mr. Drew White.
Breaking news just in. Seth Rollins returns next week, only to get beat up by Triple H at the end of the show.
That'd be fantastic. Some real heel heat, finally, because he's pretty much been getting babyface reactions the last couple of weeks, and he's been doing it. But also with us is the most cynical jackass that everyone loves, because he don't give a fuck what you think. His name is Mr. Steven Juego.
Do the Todd.
What? Do the Todd? I saw that commercial. Oh, why'd you have to bring that up?
I know, it's terrible, right?
It was We Todded.
Dudich.
All right, well, about Raw, guys. We always like to start off, what's the number one thing you took away from this episode of Raw? We're getting closer and closer to WrestleMania. I mean, this is the official road. There's no more major events. They do have that Road to WrestleMania event, but it doesn't even seem like they're particularly building for that. What did you walk away most importantly with, Drew?
That we still have another 4 weeks to go, I believe. Another 4 Raws, I believe, until we get to Mania. And fuck, if they're anything like tonight, it's going to be a long road. I'm not going to say Raw was bad, but it had a lot of lows and not many highs, I would say.
Wago, how are you feeling?
Whatever they did tonight was going to suck by comparison of what they did last week. We all kind of knew that going in. They didn't do enough to keep me pumped from last week. I knew I was going to be somewhat deflated as far as the reaction of the crowd and whatever comparisons we can make between the two shows, but tonight they really did drop the ball. It wasn't by any means an offensive show, but they could have maybe brought Shane out this week, pulled the trigger on Roman Reigns, something, I don't know.
What I don't understand is a lot of the things they sort of started building last week kind of went by the wayside, and they started doing some new stuff this week, and a lot of it isn't particularly what I think they're doing for WrestleMania. Like, for instance, Dean Ambrose and Triple H. Y2J and AJ Styles against New Day for the tag titles. Big Show and Kevin Owens. These are all things I can't imagine going into WrestleMania.
Maybe they just realized that they still have like a few weeks to really make a plan for WrestleMania. We know the past couple of WrestleMania specifically, they didn't really build many storylines. They had a couple big ones, but they always have like the mid-card scenes, always a last minute thing with a few of the matches. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that again this year, even though they seem to have a better idea of what they were wanting to do going into it. Plus, they probably are building for that Road to WrestleMania show in Toronto. I'm assuming that's where the Dean Ambrose Triple H match is going to take place at.
Well, that was our big story tonight. Triple H came out to start the show. I don't think we've actually seen him just come out with that title other than that beatdown on Roman Reigns last week since the night after Royal Rumble. Or was he even there that night?
I feel like he was there. I thought I saw a picture of him in that title, and I was like, man, those Triple H side plates. Because that's always the first thing I notice with the new titles. Mm-hmm. Always got to be that. Not what it looks like around the waist. It's about the side plates on the waist.
They actually usually do a video. I don't know if it's necessarily on .com, but I always see it shared on Facebook, where they show the backstage guy zipping out the old plates and then screwing in the new ones.
I saw that.
It's like a ceremonial thing.
I love that the first time they tried to do it with Seths, they didn't fit, so they had to reorder new ones.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. But Triple H gets interrupted by Dean Ambrose. This starts some beef between them, which sets Triple H to put Dean Ambrose into a match against Alberto Del Rio with the rest of the League of Nations at ringside. Went exactly as you would have expect for it to go. The rest of the League of Nations caused interference to this until eventually Triple H came down, and then he laid a huge beatdown onto Dean Ambrose. Pretty much the same thing as what we saw last week with Roman. No blood, which is fine. You don't need to do that every week. My favorite part to hold this is they were also talking about how Dean Ambrose was requesting a title match, and they were teasing that through all the night, that Triple H would be giving Dean his answer before the end of the night. And Triple H says, you want it, you got it. And as Triple H is walking away and Dean is already mostly already beat down, somehow crawls himself over a mic. Doesn't even grab the mic with his hand. He just puts his mouth to the mic that's on the floor. And he's like, hey, Triple H, thanks. It's so great. The whole crowd gave a really great reaction to that, which I was glad, because that could have felt really flat and been awkward.
Yeah.
But it was Dean Ambrose's delivery.
Is it weird that Dean Ambrose has probably been mainly the high point of Raw for the past few weeks, or maybe just the show in general?
Is it weird that I want him to win this match?
Yes. I want to see him in the main event picture now. I've never been the highest on Dean Ambrose, mainly because I thought he was a weird character to be pushed to the main event caliber. With Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, I guess it was a little easier for me to see them being in that picture, but I'm kind of liking what they're doing with Dean Ambrose as of late, and I really think with his promos he's been cutting as well, that you could do something amazing with him. I don't know if they'll shotgun the title on him, but it would be amazing if they would.
But you have no thoughts about that?
I think they've really got something with Dean Ambrose, and he has gotten hot around WrestleMania, so you really want him to you really want them to pull the trigger with the guy. But I don't think you can interject him into that title picture right now. I think he's going to be stuck facing Lesnar, which isn't a bad spot for him by any means, but you got to think that he's losing at WrestleMania.
Well, listen, They have some interesting things going on, because I don't believe this match between Ambrose and Triple H, that is going to happen at that March till WrestleMania event, because they've already advertised that they're going to be doing a triple threat for the title: Triple H versus Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt.
Totally forgot about that, actually. Shit. Would that be Bray Wyatt's first shot at the WWE title?
Probably not counting house shows, I think. I don't know. Has he ever actually gotten a main event title match?
No, I think all his matches with Cena weren't for any titles. He's pretty much, being kept away from the title scene. No, scratch that, Money in the Bank. He was in that ladder match with Reigns, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Wait, that was for the title?
Don't you remember they had a Money in the Bank for the belt and a Money in the Bank for the briefcase because Daniel Bryan got injured?
He was in the briefcase. Wait, he was in the belt match.
Oh, it was for the vacant title.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had 2 ladder matches.
Was that Reigns' first title victory?
No, Reigns didn't win that one, I don't think.
So
He
Wyatt
might
did?
have.
Cena
No.
won.
Was it Cena? Someone won who wasn't Reigns.
Oh, it wasn't just Reigns and Wyatt.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember.
if it was 2014, if it was after Bryan.
Okay,
Baker
Silent One to
title.
Doom is saying Cena won.
Okay, Cena won. Lol, Cena wins.
Safe to
Yeah, that's-
assume. Well, we had a number 1 contenders match as our first match of the evening. Charlotte is at ringside, the Divas champion, to watch Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks have a pretty damn good opening match on this show. Really set the crowd on fire. The best Divas match we've seen on Raw in a long time, and a controversial ending when the 2 women do a sunset flip off the top rope, and they both end up with their all 4 shoulders on the ground for a double pin, and the commentary just is insane. They don't know what to do. There's no possible solution to this scenario that we're in, guys. There's been no precedent what we could ever do if we have a draw in a number 1 contenders match. I'm just kidding. It's probably going to be a triple threat. Even the crowd knew this. As soon as this was done, the crowd was chanting triple threat, triple threat.
Yeah. I like the match. It ended awkward as fuck. I get why they did the draw thing, but it just felt weird because they did the sunset flip, and was Sasha's head supposed to like get hit and she just got unconscious because of that, or
No, I think it's just that Sasha was already on the receiving end of such a beatdown that sunset flip was kind of out of desperation, but she didn't have enough energy to keep the full pin on. So
Okay.
when the weight of Becky's backside came down, it brought her down.
Okay.
She's
I mean-
going down, down, down. I miss Marcus Corven's theme. Can we give it to someone else? Just saying.
I can't think of who it would go for, but what do you got to say about this, Wago? Did you even watch this at least? With your recent Divas hate you've had?
I had some really good food during this. But yeah, I caught a bit of it. Was not overly impressed. The finish kind of did fall flat. I like that they was going for a double pin. I like the idea, just not how they pulled it off. I think a double clothesline spot with them having both their arms over each other would have worked better.
Well, of course it's
That's
going to
true.
fall flat. I mean, the crowd is going to fall confused when you have a situation like that no matter what. It was supposed to be confusing. That's the intent of an ending like that.
Could have been cleaner.
I mean, I don't know really know much more you expect them to do. I mean, you want Sasha to land on her head again like she did at Brooklyn?
If you want to see a good example of a draw finish, is the way Shawn Michaels pinned Triple H on an episode of Raw.
I mean, we could always pull out the John Cena, CM Punk, just a suplex off the top ropes, and
Well, hold
they
on.
both had their.
Hold on. What makes that Shawn Michaels one any better? It's the exact same scenario. Shawn Michaels hit a move out of desperation, and then he fell back, unable to keep a full pin. It's the exact same thing that happened.
No, the reason why it was better is because they made it seem like Shawn had actually won, so you actually got a reaction as opposed to just kind of a falling flat moment.
I don't remember them acting like Shawn Michaels won.
They played the music, and then Eric Bischoff came out and said, "Nope."
I don't know. They've done a lot of these before. They'll have people who get like double submissions. I know they've done before where they'll have like multiple people in a match and then 2 people will get a submission. They've had.
Didn't Jericho and China end up drawing in a match and becoming co-intercontinental champions?
Is that how that? I know they were co-intercontinental champions once. I don't remember how that happened. I thought it was maybe like they.
I think they both pinned the champion in a triple threat match.
You want to know what's weird? I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and what the sounder to start off the episode was Jericho berating China because she was Intercontinental Champion. It's a fun fact. Doesn't bring anything to the table, but I just wanted to share.
Silent One of Doom is saying, did Wago just say he would have preferred a dusty finish?
Hey, dusty finishes have their place. It's just not good
Yeah.
when you use it every
in
fucking
Florida
month.
in 1980. That's when a dusty finish has place.
Well, Dusty he did finish.
Shut up, Drew.
Jesus Christ. Bray Wyatt flashes on the screen for 2 minutes and babbles. he's back to where he was years ago for me when he first coming around. I just really can't even follow what the hell he's saying anymore.
I actually kind of enjoyed that, but I just don't know what they really want to do with him now.
At this point, I don't see anything at WrestleMania for them. Like, nothing at all, which makes me think they're probably just going to interfere in somebody's match.
It took me a moment to shake Drew's comment off. Who are we talking about?
Bray Wyatt?
Bray Wyatt? Oh yeah, I have no idea what the hell they're doing. That guy's got no direction right now. And I thought they had him pegged for a match with Brock Lesnar.
And I think we're all glad that isn't happening. But that doesn't mean you can't do Bray Wyatt against someone that would be interesting. The reason we just weren't interested in that match wasn't because it was Bray Wyatt. It's just Bray Wyatt didn't seem like a good opponent for Brock Lesnar. And a lot of it was that the Wyatt family is very cold right now. But that doesn't mean you can't find them something and get them heated up a bit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they end up involved in the Undertaker's match.
Helping Shane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at one point.
You think Shane's going to be like, get the backing of the Wyatt? You think he's going to be like a Wyatt family member?
I think they're like, all right, we got a big match and we're not sure what the finish could be. Wyatt family.
It just seems like if Shane's going to get backup, why not go with like Mean Street Posse? Or like...
Yes, why not go with the Mean Street Posse?
I'm pretty positive Bray said in that promo something of a new beginning or something like that. You never know.
Oh,
I think
he's going to go on the New Day.
Ooh.
I think that was originally a pitch that some of us were thinking, like New Day versus Wyatt family.
Well, it looks like they're doing League of Nations versus the New Day, which is going to be really weird.
Yeah, I don't get that
I don't
either.
get that. Are they doing New Day versus League of Nations, or is it New Day versus Y2AJ, or is Jericho going to turn heel?
I would know if New Day wasn't so busy plugging Edge and Christian's show. Holy crap.
Well, whatever happened to Chris Jericho leaving after this past pay-per-view? Whatever happened to that?
That's what confused me. Like, if he's going to go away after Mania like he does sometimes, it would have made sense for him. It doesn't make sense for him to be in a title match unless they're losing. So maybe he does fight AJ Styles at Mania.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I think this whole thing is a sham. This whole buddy thing.
The team seems way too corny, and it's out of Jericho's character.
As soon as I saw them dancing with Mark Henry, I like, no, this is not for real. Like, Jericho's playing an act, and he's gonna, AJ's gonna, I don't know, maybe do a slight mess up, or maybe he thinks he's gonna be hogging the spotlight too much, and then Jericho's gonna hit him with a code breaker, and that's gonna set up WrestleMania. You
know what made me think it was fake? Yeah, that's what tag team partners do. All right, that doesn't sound cheesy whatsoever. So that line kind of just threw it all off. I kind of like the idea. I mentioned that I expected this feud to go into Mania. I know Tony said it probably wouldn't, so fuck you.
Well, everyone was just so adamant that we're getting AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. Like, everyone just like assumed, yep, that's what we're getting. It's on. I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see a single thing that says we're building to AJ Styles and Kevin Owens.
When Kevin Owens eliminated him during the Rumble, it made sense then. But the next night of Raw, you have him fighting Chris Jericho. So,
do you want to know why he eliminated Styles in the Rumble? Because it would get a good reaction. Simple as.
I don't know. I think if Triple H could have done it, it would have been a somewhat similar good reaction.
That would have been fucking hilarious, just because it would have been like buried.
Yeah, exactly. I think people would have complained about that. You had to put it on someone that could get heat in a good way for it, and I can't think of a better person than Kevin Owens.
Well, when we were talking about Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, it did show that clip of Chris Jericho pushing AJ Styles out of the way, so he took that kick from Kofi. Guarantee you, when they have that match, that tag team championship match, AJ Styles not going to push him. Jericho out of the way, and Jericho's just going to get shitty about it.
That's actually a cool way to do it. And then AJ breaks his neck.
We can only hope that does not happen.
Hopefully he doesn't die, because I do like Jericho.
Rewinding a bit, we had the Bray Wyatt video, but following that we had a match between Miz and Dolph Ziggler. Apparently they had a whole scuffle in the pre-show where Dolph Ziggler got all offended because Miz was assuming that he should be on the WrestleMania card because he was in the main event at 27. This was so dumb. And, like, the thing that makes this so hard to buy into is that we just have had commercials for the last how many months for Ride Along, where we got these two in a car together and Miz is going, come on! And now, like, we're supposed to believe these guys are not, like, best bros.
Oh, come on. That's not...
I love this feud. I like that we get it every year. They're just keeping up with the consistency.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I think these guys have better chemistry than Ziggler and Owens. So I'm happy they're moving away from that. And I guess I'm happy Miz is doing something. Although, wasn't he kind of like playing third man for Jericho and Styles? I was fine with him being
it's like they unplugged him from that. But what I will say is these guys have actually had some fun matches in the past. Do you remember those series of weeks where they had a random gimmick match each week?
Oh, like the barnyard match or whatever, where they had like banjos and like...
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of different varieties of that, and that was a lot of fun. So I don't think we're going to get anything quite on that level, but I'm not going to count out them having a bad match, like having all their matches going to be bad. These guys can actually deliver, given the right circumstances.
I specifically remember in 2014, these two were swapping the IC title off each other as well. At SummerSlam, and then the next night, they swapped the titles back and forth, and all those matches were good, and I really didn't have an issue with this, but the one thing I would complain about, it would have been nice to know about this little confrontation last week. Maybe if it was on the show, I would care about these two in the ring.
3 hours not enough?
Now, I don't know. They could have got rid of something last week. I know it was a pretty good show last week, but there was probably some shit in there that they could have swapped that out with, because that little backstage segment, it was good. And this 2-minute match that they had, it was entertaining. I thought the ending was cool, I guess, in a weird way. So hopefully you can build something off of it.
Do you know who the Miz needs to elevate him? Alex Riley.
Not the new God. Alex Riley, though.
Oh, man, if you brought Alex Riley back out with the Miz right now, he'd look so depressing. You could actually have a story where Miz try and rehabilitates him.
Like, Alex Riley should come out, like, really homeless. Like, I think Alex Riley's the new homeless guy. Seth Rollins isn't the homeless guy anymore.
So for anyone that hasn't seen it, go to WWE.com, check out their roster page, and look at Alex Riley's picture.
Their roster page? Is that the page where, like, Kofi Kingston's on?
It depends what year.
Okay, so we have Vince McMahon. The Vincent J. McMahon Legacy of Excellence Award sitting in the ring. Stephanie McMahon makes her way out, finally getting to give her acceptance speech for getting that award. She's, of course, horribly offended and upset about Shane McMahon returning and interrupting and ruining her moment, but she promises to get her revenge on him and that her and Triple H will always be king and queen, bow down to the queen as she holds her title high in the air. I tell you what, Stephanie gets it, and anyone who hates on her just doesn't realize how much they're being played.
Stephanie was on point tonight, and let's face it, Triple H and her are doing a great job of getting heat right now.
Now, that being said, I do think it's interesting that they've really kind of brought a lot of truth into this story as far as, well, under you and Triple H's run, we've seen ratings tank, we've seen a slew of roster injuries, we've seen pay-per-view buys decline, and this is all true stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
well,
I mean, what do we think that as much as maybe she gets it as an in-ring talent, is she and Triple H not ready to heed the head of the business?
At the end of the day, Vince is still at the helm of all of this. Yeah. Nothing gets done without his say-so. And you still hear stories of the time that Triple H and Stephanie actually come out to the media, and they do say he's hard to handle, and at the end of the day, he's the guy that everything goes for. So, as much as they've got more hands-on now, I still think all these decisions, they come down to Vince.
Now, with that being said, do we think that there's truth to this whole Shane McMahon does have his place in line still?
Oh, of course. I believe to some extent that's there.
I think he's always kept his hand in the pot. He knows what he's got there, so I don't know if he intends to take on much of an ownership role or if he's going to do more of a backstage thing. But if you listen to what some people have said about Shane, he's never been the best when it comes to creative. I know a lot of people have, for a while, were saying, "Oh, we really want Shane McMahon back," but I've never actually heard that many positive things about him from a creative standpoint.
Well, creative is a completely separate thing than business. So if this was to happen, I think this is the completely ideal scenario. Triple H handles talent relations and training, and he continues doing what he's doing with the Performance Center and NXT. That's his baby. That's his thing. And if he wants to be motivated to make that better than the main roster, so be it. It's fantastic. Stephanie stays on in creative because, as I said, she gets it. She can be in there and she knows what it's like to talk to the crowd and have all that go down. Shane, he's CEO. He's the guy in the suits. He's the guy in the boardroom meetings. I mean, they all would end up in the boardroom meetings, but he's the guy who's at the head of the table. He's going to be the guy doing all the big business deals. He's the one who's negotiating with all the people outside of there.
You know what, you do raise a good point. From a business standpoint, he might be what they need because he's gone off and set up multiple companies. That was true. And
I think that's exactly why he did it.
And he's had a lot of success with the video on demand stuff. So, honestly, he might be more savvy than his dad in that respect because look at all the things Vince has tried outside of pro wrestling and how well it's gone.
Again, when they talked in that promo, they had said they struck a deal years ago where he was able to go away, but he didn't lose his place in line. And I think that's exactly what it was. Shane went out to get more experience to be able to take the company even bigger than Vince did. Because, you think about how much Vince grew it from Vince Sr. Like, how much bigger do you think they could really grow it? But perhaps Shane is someone who can find a way to find it there. And Stephanie and Triple H being the lady who grew up in the business and one of the most important dynasties in the business, and Triple H is someone who isn't actually a performer. Like, that's such a winning combination of what you could have running a wrestling company.
That video
I don't want to say it, but when Vince eventually dies and does pass on the business, I think it's in good hands. I know people were worried for a while, and it's funny, looking back at it, people said, oh man, when it goes into Triple H's and Stephanie's hands, we're all fucked. Now everybody's like, Triple H, NXT, not so bad, is he?
Well, it's going to be very interesting in like 30, 40 years when we see what the power struggle between Shane's 3 sons and Stephanie's 3 daughters are going to be like.
What's worse is when we discuss about this on the Raw post show in 30 to 40 years.
Yeah, if we're still doing the Raw post show in 30, 40 years, that's really going to be sad.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to be almost 60.
I wonder how many more Triple H. I wonder how many more kids Triple H and Stephanie will have because I think they're trying until they get a boy. Triple H wants his own champion.
I think they'll keep trying until they have more boys than girls. He will not be outdone with that. He's going to have more boys than Shane. We had a tag match between Lucha Dragons and the League of Nations members, Sheamus and Rusev. League of Nations gets the victory when Alberto Del Rio causes a distraction and Rusev hits a super kick. Well, hey, at least a super kick got a pin.
Well, you know what? Good.
Not a good look for the Lucha Dragons.
Oh, yeah. So glad he won that U.S. Championship.
Another guy, now that I'm thinking about it, no direction going into WrestleMania as a champion.
I love how people argue that the US title shouldn't be unified, and they keep just giving more and more reasons. Unless it's on John Cena, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, that really dropped fast, didn't it?
Yeah, it's such a dumb title. Just get rid of it. It's more of a chore to have it.
Well, Zeeley brings up a good point that Triple H should adopt Kalisto. I think that should be the next big storyline going forward.
Okay.
It's not a bad idea.
Ever does an illegitimate child storyline.
Kalisto is short enough he could do it.
After that last disaster, I hope no one ever tries that shit again.
Well, speaking of disasters, we go backstage where Renee Young is interviewing Natalya about how she looks so good. She just looks so great, so fantastic. And we just had to know, Natalya, what's your secret? You want to know what it was? What makes Natalya look so good?
Having a crippled husband?
Subway.
Oh.
She eats Subway.
No. Can I call bullshit on this right now? Because you want to know why?
When?
Because Jimmy John's is so much fucking better. And I will say that till the day I die.
Yeah, it's not like they're paying you. Anyway, as far as this segment goes, as soon as I heard Renee's line of dialogue, I just walked out and just like, nope.
Well, I could tell as soon as they went back there and hovering right on top of Natalya's head, you could see the Subway sandwich and drink perfectly turned towards the camera on the top shelf of the locker.
So that was the first thing I noticed. As soon as I saw that, it's like, welp, this is going to be a train wreck. Let's all
You know
watch.
what, though? Subway can't do any worse for a spokesperson than what they had. So
Jerry Fogel, yeah, that's a good point. You know what sucks? I remember last year was Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and even Natalya. They were doing pretty damn good Sonic commercials or just product placement in their promos, and this fucking sucked.
now you want to talk about a fucking food place that's awesome? Sonic rules.
And their commercials are awesome, too. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. Subway always had dumb commercials. The best thing they ever had was Jared. And I don't even know why that was such a great thing. I can't actually say I remember a specific Jared commercial, just that Jared was there. Meanwhile, Sonic, those guys are awesome. And I remember lots of the jokes they've done.
What's the most recent one? Is the most recent one the one where they see the doppelgangers?
The doppelgangers. You guys want to hang out sometime?
I do love that commercial.
Yeah, really good. We had a announcement that WWE's YouTube channel has surpassed 10 million subscribers, and they got the diamond play button. That's actually pretty damn impressive.
It is pretty fucking impressive.
So, props to them.
And I wonder how many TNA have.
They're still trying to get the plastic play button they send you for getting 1,000. They're still working on that. So we have Adam.
I got their number. 688,000.
I mean, that's more than I got, but
Yeah, it's fucking depressing though that they call themselves a competition to WWE and the chat difference is that drastic.
Word on the street: TNA's for sale. Anybody got $10? You want to go halves?
I'll go halvies on you.
I'll throw in a few more bucks so you guys don't have to pay as much.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, sounds great. Actually, you know what? Since you know Vince McMahon, you think you can get us a discount?
I think it's possible. I think Shane might know what to do with that video
So I
and
think
catalog.
for our first creative decision, I'm just going to pitch this. Matt Hardy should never be a fucking champion. Anyone?
I'm actually perfectly fine keeping him champion forever.
What about Samuel Shaw?
Well, I guess you would officially kill TNA that way, so good thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that was the point. I've had this bet going for years. I gotta get this done finally.
Episode 85, man. That's all that matters.
Oh, that's what... I can't, I gotta invent the time machine, too. And then I can go back and get it out before episode 85. But then I wouldn't own it back then, would I? Oh, the space-time continuum's all messed up in my head.
Don't want to mess with the timeline. You might erase that really awesome tables match TNA had once.
I don't want to cross the timeline.
Fuck TNA.
We had Adam Rose representing the Social Outcasts in a match against Ryback. Hey, Adam Rose got some new tights. That must mean he's getting a push, right? No.
Off a cliff, hopefully.
This was actually awesome, where Ryback just knocks Adam Rose on the ground and just rains fists on him nonstop for a solid minute and a half. The ref keeps trying to pull.
Right.
He grabs him. He's punching him with his right arm. The ref grabs him by the arm, so Ryback just starts punching him over and over with the left arm.
This was fucking awesome. This is the best Ryback has looked ever. You want to stop the Goldberg chance? This is how you stop the Goldberg chance.
You actually make him Goldberg.
You have him go out there every week and not just beat someone in a wrestling match, have him brutalize people to the point it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, as soon as the ref finally did manage to get him off, he just did a quick circle, came back, put him up for the shell shock, got the pin. As the commentary said, where has this Ryback been?
Yeah. Listen, we all know the big guy, he's hungry, all right? And the black tights, it's not the singlet, the RVD singlet that he borrowed, but...
it was awkward at first, but I actually like him now.
Do you know who would benefit from this type of booking? Roman Reigns.
What the tights or
Not the tights. They're just coming out and mauling people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the tights would be a better look now. I think Peyton would definitely enjoy that more.
Actually, I'm down with him dropping the stupid thing that he's wearing.
I think he has like flabby tits. I think that's why they want to keep that bullet protector on him.
Listen, I'm telling you, the moment that I saw he was still wearing that when the Shield disbanded, he's either has a bit of a belly gut that they don't want to admit, or he has some flap ass titties.
Yeah,
Well,
like
if you
that's a
remember
Samoan
during-
thing. So
If you remember during the Evolution vs. Shield matches, they did rip off his jacket a couple of times. I think they were trying to test how he looked. Because, they couldn't just have him look in a fucking mirror or
His
something.
flabby tits.
yeah, and that's one of those things that gets worse with Samoans as they got older. Actually, Rock. I mean,
Is the exact opposite.
well, no.
Didn't he have surgery?
Yeah, Rock had surgery to reduce the size of his nipples.
Actually, yeah, that did happen.
So Rock got that one taken care of. Maybe we'll have.
Yeah, and you know what? Now The Rock is a millionaire and making movies, so I think he made the right move.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't necessarily that he beat Big Show in that Royal Rumble, although that did have a big decision. It's because he got surgery on the tits.
Ha! You break things! That's awesome.
You alright. I've actually totally incorporated that into my regular speech. You alright. Can't wait to see Rock again, hear him say it again. If he says it again, I think he just thought of that while he was driving to the arena. Because I think that's how Rock rolls. We had Kofi Kingston and the rest of New Day coming out for a match against Chris Jericho and AJ Styles. AJ Styles and Chris Jericho got a submission with the Walls of Jericho. And they pretty much said, well, since we beat you, this makes us number one contenders, right? Well, you should give us a tag title match. As we already said, I think what this is just going to lead to is Jericho turning on Styles, Styles versus Jericho for WrestleMania. It's looking like we're building up to some kind of like stacked Raw, though. Like we had this lull from the come down from last week, but it seems like they're trying to amp it back into overdrive for what I assume is next week. Because we're going to have this tag match. We're going to have Ambrose versus Triple H.
Maybe they're dropping the Night of Champions pay-per-view and doing it just for a Raw.
So if they do Jericho and AJ at Mania, does it need a gimmick?
No.
I mean, their match was fantastic. The first,
If it did have a gimmick, it can't be like a street fight kind of gimmick. It would have to be like a submission match.
that'd be good. They could also do an Iron Man, even if it's just 15 minutes.
An ultimate submission match?
That'd be interesting. There's a
see
few
what it
ways they
is.
can go, because it's one of those few matches that you can make about the wrestling.
Yeah, it's something we already have enough like brutal type gimmick matches with the Hell in a
Yeah, Hell in a Cell,
Street
Street Fight, anything else will be overkill.
Fight. And you know Triple H and Roman Reigns is going to be one of those matches where it's not no DQ, but they're not going to disqualify anybody and they're going to beat the shit
Or
out of
it'll
each
end
other.
up getting announced right as the match begins.
Yeah, they've done that before too.
Like they did for
Rock
Austin
and
vs.
Stone Cold.
Rock.
And
Yeah.
they did that for pretty much every WrestleMania from like 14 through 20. Like every single main event was just like it's not really no rules or no disqualifications, but go ahead.
The commentator's always like, "Oh, when did that happen?" It's fucking like, yeah, okay.
Well, it's not the same as WCW, who actually did just completely change rules in the middle of the match. Hey, you mentioned the Todd dance or whatever it was. Chrisley was in the crowd, showing support for Raw.
I saw too many Chris Lee commercials tonight.
Sometimes you need Owens just to come out and fucking powerbomb somebody.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Isn't it amazing that that's still a TV show?
Some of these things I don't know how they keep getting renewed, and that is absolutely one of them. That's one of them I thought they were going to make as an experiment, and it would fall off. Who the fuck is he? I still don't know who he is.
Class, not ass.
Ass, not ass.
I said that to my girlfriend 5 times, and she didn't understand it any single time, and I was very disappointed in her.
I don't even understand it. I say it, and I don't understand it.
Listen, when you have a daughter someday, just say class, not ass. Hopefully, she'll not dress like a whore. That is
You
the
know, I'll
hopes.
just raise my kid right so she doesn't ever do that.
I don't know. When you have millions of dollars, apparently it's fucking difficult.
Mo money, mo problems. We had Jey Uso against Bubba Ray Dudley in a singles match. Bubba Ray wins with the Bubba Bomb. Can't remember the last time we've seen that one. Generally, they win with a 3D, so it's kind of nice to see a good old Bubba Bomb. Dudley Boyz continue to be dominant in this feud, which worries me because it's probably just going to be a match between the two of them at WrestleMania, with the Usos just getting a feel-good victory.
For some reason, I'm still putting. If I had to make a bet on any tag team match for the tag titles, I'd still go with the 4-way tag title match because that's their match they do every year, and I love that match. It's usually the best match on the pre-show.
Hopefully, that's normally the only match on the pre-show, but hopefully they have this match at Mania. They spike whoever they do on the 3D, and the Usos go away forever.
That'd be 2 WrestleManias consecutively that they get hurt at.
I know, it'd be great, right?
Well, the other one would have to get injured this time, right?
It just annoys me. Every time they come back, I'm just like, oh my god, just turn heel, do something.
Do you have any t-shirts?
I ain't fucking buying one.
Well, if we didn't have enough tag teams, we still got this teasing of R-Truth and Goldust. R-Truth is back in his locker room. Goldust surprises him, and R-Truth lays it to him straight and hard. You are never going to be my tag team partner because I don't want one. Goldust looks horribly upset, storms off, and R-Truth looks like he's showing some regret. And so am I for watching these segments over and over.
Just make them a tag team already.
Right?
God.
You didn't tease this for this long.
This is like a 5 or 6 week thing now, isn't it?
It's been going on for way too long.
It's down to R-Truth and Goldust in the Andre Battle Royal, and Goldust just leaves the ring so R-Truth can win and finally becomes his tag team partner.
It would not surprise me. If they did that for that match, I'm 100% for it. That's fucking amazing. You can
At least the slow build and have a payoff, right?
I mean, what is the payoff for this overall? I still think Goldust and Cody have to end up back together somehow, right?
Can Booker T get jealous of R-Truth and team back up with Goldust?
So Goldust and Cody against R-Truth and Booker?
Sure, that match would be pretty sweet.
I'd be down. Booker doesn't even have to wrestle. He could just stand on the apron and play to the crowd like he does at the pre-show.
We'll just do a spinneroonie at one point.
Can he even still do a spinneroonie?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. He seems in good shape still.
You know who looked I don't want to say looked really good, but who looked like he was really healthy, I guess I should say, is Vince. Like, his hair was on point. He had that classic Vince pompadour that he hasn't really had quite so strong ever since he cut his hair.
Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned it, but Booker T was at that Bellator event during the Dada 5000 and Kimbo Slice fight, and he was just laughing his fucking ass off because of how bad the match was.
Could you hear him?
There's video of it, and even the journalists were commenting on how hard he was laughing. Imagine being next to Booker T when he genuinely finds something funny. It'd be horrifying.
No, actually, that actually brings something up that I've thought. We have a lot of legends, even Hall of Famers. Do you think Booker T could come back and do a solid 2 or 3 matches, kind of like what he did in 2012?
Booker T's still pretty jacked by the looks of it, and the last time he showed up, he was still in fantastic shape. I think he can do whatever the hell he wants.
I'm pretty sure he still wrestles in his own company.
Really?
Yeah, I know he runs an indie and trains people, so I think he has the one-off match there. And I know he had a tag match with his brother. So
is he a trainer at the Performance Center?
I don't think so, but that'd be a good role for him because commentating sure is.
Does he still commentate on SmackDown?
No, I don't think so.
I think he's just there for the panelists.
Yeah, I think SmackDown teams Ranello, King, and I think that's it. I think it's just the two of them.
They have Byron on there.
They have Byron on there. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, it's not.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put Booker down in the NXT Performance Center area. He's a legend. He knows what he's talking about. Would not be surprised if they did with him.
He was really good as a trainer for that season of Tough Enough he was on.
This past one?
No, it was the one with Stone Cold.
Oh. Wasn't he a trainer in this past one?
I don't think so.
Maybe he was a panelist.
Might have been. I can't remember. But yeah, I think that would be something that he could do on the side. But right now, I do think he's doing his own school. So at the same time, he's kind of like getting people ready before they even go to the Performance Center.
You know what would be great, though, if he is a trainer and he does what he did when he was King Booker. He talks all calm to the students until someone says something wrong and he gets all fug.
Was Ely saying he's the main trainer? No, that's Matt Bloom. Albert, Tensai, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, he took over the role for
Jackass.
douchebag.
Yeah.
I love how we both
I don't even want to fucking give him his real name. Fuck that guy. I always hated
They've
that
got
guy.
some good trainers down there. I know they've got Norman Smiley, William Regal, Robbie Brookside. They did have Billy Gunn until he got caught up in the steroid scandal.
Road Dogg's down there now,
Lana
right?
Del Rey.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Del Rey. I know.
I didn't even catch that. God damn it.
We had Kevin Owens versus Big Show in a match where Big Show actually gets the victory via countout after sort of a crotch first top rope whatever. Like he knocks the ropes into Kevin Owens' crotch. Kevin Owens falls to the ground and gets counted out.
So, you remember we talked about Kalisto not really having a direction and he's a mid-card champion? Would you say about Kevin Owens?
It was nice for 1 week when he won it, and then they decided to have him go right against Dolph Ziggler, and then it meant nothing.
Yeah? Kind of fucking
true.
sucks.
True.
Oh, yeah. No, I swear to
thanks for-
I'm into
thanks
that
for training.
fucking trick.
Thanks for trading.
I fucking hate you.
Thanks for that. That was a really good trade.
I don't get it. I really don't get Kevin Owens sometimes. Every once in a while, they will act like they want to build him. And I understand what they were doing. I know on SmackDown they had him win via countout against Big Show, so they did the same thing here. But I don't want this to be his match at WrestleMania if this is what they're planning.
Well, what if this is just from March to WrestleMania?
I guess. Big Show has always appeared at these just like halfway shows in between two big pay-per-views. He did it at the Madison Square Garden one against not Big Show, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, no, he faced himself. No, yeah, it was Brock Lesnar.
Has Owens got show up for the pop-up powerbomb?
No, that's the one I'm waiting for. I was hoping they'd do it tonight because
if that's a WrestleMania moment, I'm down for it.
I don't think we've seen him actually do it because I don't think we've even seen him to do it like Kane.
Well,
actually, he did it to Mark Henry. That's the biggest he's done it to.
Well, see, the issue is they'll have him go for the pop-up powerbomb, but they're going to go right back with Mark Henry mode, and Big Show's going to fall on him and pin him.
Remember when Batista did the Batista bomb on Umaga?
I try to forget most things with Umaga.
Why? Umaga was great.
Umaga was a bad.
Umaga was fine for a while, but his match quality actually got really sloppy towards the end. He became a real boring character.
Well, drugs tend to do that to people.
Drugs and bad booking. And because they got rid of Armando.
I don't, it was definitely on part of their booking, and that's why he fell down, but at the same time, still doesn't change the fact that he ended up sucking.
Well, this was when he was still hot, I'm pretty sure. He had I'm pretty sure it was maybe a bragging rights match, or it was something where it was Raw versus SmackDown, because I remember Umaga was the representative of Raw, and Batista was the representative of SmackDown. And Batista goes to do the Batista bomb on Umaga, and while he's bringing him up, Batista just, falls right back on his ass. And, it ends up being in, it works out to being, a perfect sit-down powerbomb, but you could tell Batista couldn't keep it up.
That's his fucking own fault. He always leans back after he does the powerbomb and rolls out. You're not meant to.
That's right, he does do that, but it wasn't even that. He, literally fell back onto his ass. So it was his legs buckled out beneath him. Because Batista does have kind of small legs. That's why he could wear skinny jeans.
He's a little more proportioned now that he's dropped a lot of his size.
Well, yes.
I don't know. Apparently, his legs were getting bigger because he ripped the jeans.
Okay.
No, I think he just buys really tight jeans.
I don't know.
We had our second Divas match of the night. This has been a pretty consistent thing for a while. So chops to them at least, but this match was not as cool as the first one. Brie Bella against Naomi. I'll tell you what, though. Naomi is doing well for herself. She looked pretty clean throughout this match. She did a split-legged moonsault at one point, which I thought was awesome. She ended up winning with a new submission move that I don't think I've ever seen her use. So I've said this before in the past few weeks, but Naomi has really, really come into herself, and this was a perfect example of her displaying what she had.
I know you said that the first Divas match was one of the best just Divas matches they've had on Raw in a while. I thought that was a good match, but I actually, for some reason, enjoyed this match a little more. Not a lot, but I kind of like what they were doing in the ring. I enjoyed it. Maybe it's just because I'm a Bella mark. I've always enjoyed their work. I know people grew stale of them after a while, but I've always thought Brie Bella was the better one of the two, and I really did enjoy the match.
At first, Brie was the better of the two, and then Nikki out of nowhere just kind of like skipped ahead.
I guess that would be true. Do you think Nikki's gonna come back?
I hope not. I'm ready for a Bella-free WWE.
We had a Bella-free WWE.
Yeah, but it can be especially free.
So, if those two just fuck off and die, pretty much, the Bella twins, and I'm assuming Tamina's never going to be relevant in this woman's wrestling picture in WWE.
Oh! When the Bellas leave, can they go all around the country, and can we call it a Bella tour?
You're funny. I like that. Okay, Seth Rollins, calm down there.
Jesus Christ, Mike.
God damn it.
What were you actually trying to say, Drew?
I don't know. Something Bella twins.
I think you just destroyed his mind for a second.
No, you just toadied me so fucking hard. I don't know what to do with my life.
Well, we had this other thing they were teasing with Lana, and she's picking on Brie. I don't really get where they're going with that. Lana comes out after the match and just claps for Brie for losing.
You remember how
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, during the build to SummerSlam, they were teasing her possibly wrestling, and then she ended up getting injured, I believe, training. Do you think they're going to... Maybe they shouldn't do it for WrestleMania, but you think at some point they might have her wrestle Brie at some point?
I think that's what they're leaning towards. I thought Lana's promo was on point tonight, and they dropped that thing about her not being able to wrestle, and she was training to before she got injured, so I'd expect it.
I don't have any interest in this.
I don't care about it, but
no,
I just think it's happening.
I care, because I want to see what Lana wears when she wrestles. That is the one thing I want to see.
Well, ideally, they should have her wear nothing.
Yeah, but I don't know. They might be able to pull it off if the lights were out.
So, guys, this seems to be the new way they're announcing our Hall of Fame inductees via Twitter.
No. They announce it via Rolling Stones. That's always the first article they pull up.
What?
When they show a montage of all the websites and major news outlets announcing who goes into the Hall of Fame, the Rolling Stones is the first one they pull up.
First off, the Rolling Stones is a band.
Rolling Stone, my bad. I the second time I said it, let's see if he calls me out. And you called me out, so congratulations, sir.
Idiot.
Hey.
First off, I don't even know what you're talking about because I didn't even see them do that. All they did was pretty much say, hey, we announced this earlier on WWE.com and Twitter. Fabulous Freebirds are going into the Hall of Fame. And they showed 2 clips of them and then the whole Hall of Fame class, and that was it. Whatever happened to showing the video when they announced a new inductee?
You know what? I'm not even watching the Hall of Fame this year, so I don't give a fuck. They've done a terrible job with some of these Hall of Fame shows, and at the end of the day, all it amounts to is, yo, you've got a picture on a website. Congrats.
Well, they get a ring.
I hope they actually make a physical Hall of Fame soon, because it really does mean nothing.
They could totally do that. Either at the headquarters or even at the Performance Center. You can make that.
Why does having a
physical
physical Hall of Fame make it any more important? What difference is it if it's on a website or in a musty hallway?
Fair point, but I just think it'd actually mean a little more if it wasn't just Vince's personal list on WWE.com.
And I tell you, I would like one, not so much for the Hall of Plaques, because I went to the Baseball Hall of Fame, and the Hall of Plaques is the lamest room in the entire fucking thing. The cool stuff is when you go around and you see all the old memorabilia, they have old, home plates and baseball gloves and uniforms and all things like that. Do the same thing with wrestling. Have, old wrestlers' robes or props and all things like that. Having all that on display would be really awesome. They don't have anything like that anywhere. Every once in a while, they'll make a small display at Access or something.
Last time I heard of like WWE having any like cool kind of store where you could see really cool merchandise and other things, where they had some store out in Niagara Falls before, and it closed down eventually.
Well, they also had WWE New York in Times Square.
Oh yeah, they did have that.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they did something different like that again.
Or didn't Hulk Hogan have a like his own restaurant like that recently?
Hogan's had a lot of things.
The word is recently, not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he has anymore.
He has a beach somewhere which they renamed because he's a racist now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it? You could easily sell the Hall of Fame as a museum. It's not that difficult because baseball, basketball, football, every other sport has one. And I know they're trying to brand this more as a sport now. So you could easily just put a Hall of Fame together. Just get a building, put some like you said, robes, memorabilia, put some video, just some TVs where you can watch videos about the guy or something like that. This is a very easy thing to do.
I think it's
hang all the body
things.
parts that Mick Foley's lost.
It's a matter of priority, which I just don't think it's a high priority for them. I think they see other ventures that'll be more cost effective for them, more beneficial for them, because those types of buildings don't make a lot of money.
That's true.
That's the one thing about it. In fact, when you go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, they actually, very little money is made there. And most of the stuff they get on exhibit is donated.
That is true, but like I said, you could easily build this onto the Performance Center if they have the room or the land to be able to do something like that.
Do you really want people crowding around the Performance Center like that? Like, it probably already has enough weirdos showing up.
Yeah. Well, we've covered those stories, but, that is a good point.
There are other places, like, I know they've mentioned possibly going into, like, a Universal Studios, somewhere in New York City. I mean, you could put it almost anywhere in New York City, but then again, rent is absolutely outrageous there. I also wouldn't do it at the headquarters for the same reason I wouldn't do it at the Performance Center. In fact, even more so, especially because who the hell is going to be in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut?
That is very true.
Yeah, it's hard to think. If they was going to be consistent with keeping SummerSlam in one city, they could put it there. Or move it every time. Because if they're going to do that, like keep it in one city for a certain period of time, they could move the Hall of Fame around.
Well, I tell you, if they're in New York City, if they want to keep doing that, and actually a big thing is I know for Madison Square Garden, they have a Hall of Fame in Madison Square Garden. Not like a wrestling Hall of Fame, but a Madison Square Garden Hall of Fame. So they have like whole parts of the building that are dedicated for stuff like that. Matter of fact, I believe Vince McMahon is in that Hall of Fame.
That's cool.
That's interesting.
I think I remember them doing a whole thing about that, and Stephanie did the inductee speech for him.
He'd definitely deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do at the Barclays Center? Because that's pretty much where they're going to hold the next few SummerSlams.
I mean, I don't understand why they do that there. I guess you would have to move the Hall of Fame event to be during SummerSlam rather than WrestleMania if you were going to do that.
That kind of kills it at that point.
Does it?
Not really. I think if they really want to make SummerSlam elevated and make it like the WrestleMania of the summer, they definitely could do that then.
Then you're talking about a 4-day weekend. You got Hall of Fame, NXT, SummerSlam, and then Raw.
I guess that
could be a really cool thing. And if they want to have something special around WrestleMania, Slammies. Because that makes more sense, because that's the end of your fiscal year. You know, the new season starts after WrestleMania, so when you get to the end, that's when you're doing your year.
This actually makes significantly more sense.
Yeah.
WWE, just do that.
And the best thing is, we wouldn't have to do the Slammies during Raw. It could be an actual event like the Hall of Fame is.
Have you ever gone back and watched the 1996 or 1997 Slammy
Oh, they're
Wars?
so much better back
They're
then.
fucking amazing. They were great shows. They were still kayfabed up and everything, but they were a lot of fun. They had music numbers.
Put it on the network, it'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seeing some of these wrestlers showing up in tuxedos, but like goofy tuxedos.
Yeah, I feel like the New Day would somehow ruin it with whatever.
Oh, see, New Day would be on fire at something like that.
And you could actually like build heat going on to feuds into WrestleMania.
Yeah, they've done that there before. I think that they had, who was it? It was like Ahmed Johnson and somebody started brawling in the middle of like one of the tables.
I don't know, I'd have to see his ass.
Yeah, we're not playing Whose Ass Is This tonight, but I will have to make a return to that game very soon. What the hell closed our show tonight? We had Dean Ambrose against Alberto Del Rio, and we pretty much already said how that match went. It gets interrupted by the rest of the League of Nations members. Triple H comes down for the beatdown. We go off the air with Triple H holding that WWE title high, and we're pretty much we're confirmed. It's not teased. It's confirmed we're getting Dean Ambrose versus Triple H some point in the future. Didn't say when, but I think they said that tag match was supposed to be next week, so I would assume they'd do it the same week.
Did we talk about Undertaker and Vince?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I don't think we talked about the Undertaker Vince promo.
Oh, I don't think we did talk about Undertaker and Vince. Undertaker came out. It's pretty much that's pretty much all you have to say.
And
grabbed Vince by the neck and said that the blood of Shane McMahon's going to be on your hands, and Vince said his inheritance is going to be fucked.
something like that, and he called him he'll be a son of a bitch.
The delivery was so awkward. But it was cool because it was Vince.
Yeah.
I also like when Undertaker first choked Vince, and he was like trying to talk, but he could tell the mic wasn't at proper volume, so he kept repeating himself until they got the mic to work.
Yeah, he did a decent job of covering it, though.
I mean, Undertaker's a pro. Undertaker looked like he was in great shape. He didn't seem like he had a problem walking.
Is his hair growing out?
His hair is definitely growing out. I don't know how it's doing underneath the hat, but we'll see.
It was clearly a mistake.
Hopefully, it's not Shawn Michaels' Elimination Chamber.
I think it was just
I hate that length of Shawn Michaels' hair. That's like the worst Shawn has ever looked, and he was in those shitty brown tights.
That was even worse than the hair, was those stupid tights. Like, this is your big comeback?
It's like, well, I guess his comeback was against Triple H, but that was his title
Well,
win.
and he also wasn't in shape. That's the thing. Like, Shawn Michaels didn't expect to make the comeback then. It was supposed to be later.
And he still outperformed every goddamn person.
Well, it's fucking Shawn Michaels, dude. That's how he do. I mean, is there anything more we have to say about this? And pretty much Undertaker saying, I'm going to do what I do. You know what I do when that door closes in that cell, and it's going to be on you. You know, you're the one who set this up. I can't be held responsible if anything bad happens to Shane. I guess that's really the best approach you could have the Undertaker do.
Yeah.
Like, Undertaker, he has no feelings, and I think that's the best way to play this. Undertaker has no feelings or remorse about this whole situation. He doesn't care who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. He just knows that he has a match at WrestleMania, and he's going to beat the shit out of whoever it is.
Yeah, morality-wise, he's just there to beat people up. The only person he ever had any love for was Paul Bearer, so he put him in cement.
You want to... and maybe Kane to an extent.
He's shown compassion for Kane occasionally, yes.
The Undertaker's streak is non-existent. Do you have to have like some type of gimmick with him going forward? Because this is a pretty big thing that they're doing with Shane getting control of Monday Night Raw. Is that what the Undertaker pretty much is going to be from now on?
Best to, because I think that's one of the reasons that Bray Wyatt match was so flat. Was just there was nothing on the line there. It didn't mean anything.
Takeover Shane exists because WWE went into complete utter panic mode. I guarantee 12 months ago, this was never even discussed.
Oh,
True,
absolutely not.
But I bet at some point in the next coming years, they had a plan for Shane to get back in the mix.
And even I don't think had anything to do with Undertaker. No, I still think, if not now, sometime very soon, Shane was getting back involved. But I don't think this was how. I think this was all formulated like on one of those oh shit conference calls. Vince called his son in and said, listen, we need you to help us out here. And this is what they formulated.
They fucking struck gold vote, didn't they?
Oh.
Yeah. This was probably the best way they could bring Shane back into the mix.
Listen, as much as people want to hate on WWE and all the dumb things they do, when they really need to hit it out of the park, they generally have a good track record.
I don't know if this was like carefully a masterpiece they tried to put together, or if it was just they threw everything and hope it stuck, and it did.
You know what I think is funny is all the people who swear that this match is being changed.
No, this is definitely happening.
There's no way at all they can change this match.
But I think Shane must have had some notice, though, unless he's just been keeping himself in shape, because the dude's in really good shape right now. I'd say he's actually probably in better shape than when he was last here.
I mean, Shane's never particularly been in good shape. That's why he always wears full body clothes.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't even like a tight shirt. It was loose. The big old baseball jersey Shinamac things, they were always very loose.
He's training Muay Thai, and his arms look jacked now.
Good for him.
For someone who who he looks a lot older than what I presumed him being. He's only in his mid-40s now,
He
right?
really should do the Kevin Nash thing and dye his hair.
Yeah, he should. He should just crack a joke about it. Like, just to cover it. Like, be
I'm
like,
trying
yep,
to
I did it.
intimidate the Undertaker
Like-
with my youth.
He seriously would look 15 years younger
Uh-huh.
if he dyed his hair. Because he doesn't have a single wrinkle on his face. It's
I wanna
just the
know-
hair.
I want to know what you guys think, and I also want to know what our chat thinks. Does Shane take a spill off the Hell in a Cell?
Absolutely.
Off
Maybe
the top
not
of it?
maybe not running off the top, but he's climbing up that side somewhere and he's falling off.
Ooh, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It would have to be,
I think
it
he's going
would-
through either off the top or through the top. I think he's just crazy enough to fucking do it.
Son, company's in bad shape. You remember that
yourself.
favor? Remember that favor you owe me?
I don't think I can get Foley to do it again. But you think you can? I think this will be Shane's last thing he ever does, as far as that's concerned. So I think he's
I could
looking
see
to go
him
out
wrestle.
big.
I could see him wrestling again, but nothing of this
All right,
magnitude.
hold on. Actually, I have one more match I think he might do. And if that's what he has to do, then maybe he won't do this bump. And that's, I think he may still, whatever it is, he's going to come out of this getting control. But then he eventually has to fight Triple H for Triple
Oh
H.
yeah, he's got to fight Triple H. It's there.
So that's one more match I think he has to have. But I think this is going to be his last big spot he'll ever do. The other match will be more of like beating each other with sledgehammers and trash cans and shit.
This is going to be one of those matches when you hear "Here comes the money" and you're going to get goosebumps for. It's going to be one of those. So even if the match ends up a disaster, as you get ready for it, it's going to be pretty sweet.
This might be an example of the WrestleMania 28 of Triple H and Undertaker. The crowd might make this match better than what it probably has any ability to be. Whatever crowd we get might make or break this match.
Well, time will tell. So that wraps us up talking about this week's edition of Raw, but we're going to move into the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to talk about the best part, the worst part, and the most god-awful must-avoid part of Raw is. If you have a good, bad, and ugly, drop it in the chat room. Yes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Drew, why don't you start us off? Do you have a good, bad, and ugly for this show?
Hopefully I do. That would be terrible if I didn't, but I do. My good for this evening definitely will be Stephanie's promo she cut. Yeah, fuck. If this was if this was a real sports show, people would be if this was real and this wasn't scripted. People that would tune people away. Just the fact that we also come back after that because it's a scripted kayfabe sort of thing, but it was still amazing. And like you guys said, she is one of the best people. She understands what she needs to do, and I have to give her props for that. I haven't been high on Stephanie for a while, and
Wait, you don't
yeah.
get high on Stephanie. You stay high on Stephanie.
And also,
If she allows you to, because she is the authority.
oh yeah. Also, she looked pretty good tonight. Or
Freaking
better
Drew, you
than
always got to
usual.
objectify everybody.
Yeah, she
How
looked
did
better than
Charlotte?
usual.
How did Charlotte look, Drew?
Let me get to my ugly
I think
before
the
I say
real
that.
important thing is how Natalya looked, because she looked so great.
Amazing,
So
stunning,
fantastic.
beautiful,
I know.
majestic eagle.
She did look good, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she's
always has.
Yeah, she was pretty on point.
I know Tony will disagree with that, but I always thought she looked good. So
Fucking Tony, he's afraid of any woman that's got a bit of size on him. He's like, my masculinity.
Oh, holy
All right.
shit, we have 707 hearts?
dude, I've been hitting the heart button every time I can. I'm just like,
I called him out on them not giving us hearts, and they just decided to be like, "Yo, Wago, go fuck yourself."
Holy shit, guys.
you're
I'm
welcome.
pretty sure we, beat the whole goal by, 6 times.
So, anyways, my good, the chat tonight, bad. People who weren't here, but no, my bad for the night definitely will have to be Kevin Owens losing the Big Show, just because that's that just left a sour taste in my mouth, and also, of course, he would lose right after I get him on my fantasy team. So my ugly for the evening, I hinted it would be Charlotte. Yes, that still is true, but my ugly will not be her tonight just because they did a good job of not showing her every 2 seconds. And yeah, so my ugly
Every
tonight,
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Every 2 seconds, when that's what they normally do, is have Charlotte just pop up on the screen.
That depends if Kevin Dunn's having a bad night.
No, she's the new blah for the Bray Wyatt. But my ugly is actually going to be Natalya and whatever the fuck that was supposed to be. It was a train wreck, and it wasn't a good train wreck.
Way to go. You're good, bad, and ugly.
Alright, so my good is the Ryback. He beat down Ambrose tonight, and it was fucking sweet. The bad goes to the R-Truth and Goldust segment, and the ugly goes to Natalya's weird Subway promo, and that is how you do it, Drew. Speed it up, kiddo.
We're going to read one in the chat room here. Silent One to Doom. Good. WrestleMania might have just been saved by Dean getting a chance at the title. Bad. The Subway commercial. Ugly. The way Brie and Lana were insulting each other. I got this weird feeling they were going to do a feminist angle with them, and that sounds poops.
Talking about feminist, I forgot to point it out. Stephanie tonight. It's because you're a man.
Oh, she did say that.
Yeah.
That was... You know what? If it was just for heat, good on her. Because that's definitely like a hot topic to get yourself
When
into.
she said that, I'm like, fuck you, bitch. And I'm like, oh, damn, she worked me. Shit.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing. Ben guessed one. Good. Triple H attack of Ambrose. Bad. No Cole Owens segment. Ugly. Goldust and R-Truth segments keep coming. Kenneth Cade, already in the chat, says good. Dean versus Triple H. Bad. No opponent or feud for Kevin Owens for WrestleMania. Ugly. Subway. Just Subway.
Yeah.
My good, I'm going to give to Dean Ambrose thanking Triple H for giving him the title shot. I was actually expecting a chivalry chant, because that's something that's really caught on down at NXT, so I thought maybe they'd be able to pull that up on the main roster here. But it's okay, we got a good beatdown afterwards, and that was fun as well. My bad, it seems like this has made almost everyone's list in some type of negative connotation. The Subway segment with Natalya and Renee Young. I like both of these ladies, and even Subway's not the worst thing in the world. But this segment was dumb and forced.
Well, you don't feel like a pedophile for eating their sandwiches anymore.
No. I mean, they fired the guy, so responsible company. Their fucking bread is still stupid, though. And the ugly. Adam Rose's new gear. That shit was hideous.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos for them for trying, but like both him and Bo Dallas have been given new gear, and they're both awful.
He almost did make my ugly list too, so I'm glad somebody else pointed that out.
All right, well that wraps up all of those. We have one last bit of business. We're gonna play some games. Woo, games.
Wow, it's like the game. Every time we play games, I need to take a piss. I don't know why.
Is there
Weird.
a new game?
Well, it's not the pissing game.
Aw,
Unless
man.
it's that game where, like, you know how you go to carnivals and they have those games where you have the gun and you have to shoot it in the clown's mouth, and it like blows up the balloon until it pops.
Just don't make all the questions water related.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna open up with a game of Tap Out,
That hurts.
and this you guys know how Tap Out works. If you're listening for the first time here, though, what happens is I'm going to give a topic, and these contestants are going to go back and forth naming examples of this topic until one of them can no longer give one, and they must tap out, declaring the other the winner. All right. This edition of Tap Out is In Your House pay-per-views. Wago, you may start.
Sorry, my microphone was muted, wasn't it? In Your House, Buried Alive?
Drew?
It's time.
That was one, wasn't it? Yeah, you're right.
In Your House, now available on PlayStation.
I know what the next one was
It
going
was
to
an
be.
In Your House. In Your House was a PlayStation game.
I said In Your House pay-per-views. I did specifically say pay-per-views.
Actually, after that, I might have just started saying In Your House 1, In Your House 2, In Your House 3.
See, Wago, all you need was one more.
You see, I don't remember too many of the In Your House
Oh, really?
pay-per-views.
Good Friends, Better Enemies, Fatal 4-Way, Buried Alive.
Was D-Generation X the title for one of them?
Yes, it was. It was a December one.
The one that I always remember, just for being an amazing name, just Revenge of the Taker.
Revenge of the Taker was a good one, and a lot
Such
of
a
those
dumb name.
a lot of those pay-per-view names that they kept for a while started as In Your House names, like Fully Loaded, Over the Edge, like those
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yeah, those all started as In Your Houses.
They should steal some of these for the NXT shows.
Yeah, why not?
I think Backlash started as one too.
Yes, it did. Yeah, so the In Your House, a lost relic in wrestling history. And if you have the network, go back and check some of those In Your House specials, because I think that's a good example of how to do a lesser pay-per-view and have it not come off underwhelming and still important to the overall story. And we don't get to see those too much anymore, where every pay-per-view is made to be, oh, this is so fucking awesome, and you got to get the network, because if you miss this, you're going to fucking regret it. So, there's our game of Tap Out. And we're going to wrap this up with a game that we started a couple weeks ago. And this is very important for you chat room listeners out there, because you're going to have participation in this one in choosing who wins. This game is called This Jobber for Hire. You guys remember this one? Yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
This is the one where you give us like criteria to make a wrestler about.
Exactly. I'm going to give you, you're going to pick a number between 1 through 10. I'm going to give you an example of a profession, and you have to book a wrestler from that profession. And I'm going to give you, let's say, I think the last time was a little too long, so let's just give you 60 seconds.
All right.
Oh shit, did my phone die?
Yeah.
Oh shit, it did. All right. How am I going to keep 60 seconds?
Just look up a timer thing on Google.
1, 2.
Egg timer. A simple countdown timer, eggtimer.com. Wow, you're great.
You're great.
I had a teacher who used that when I was in high school, so I knew there was one out there. It would be dumb not to be one out there.
1 minute.
La la la, I'm talking to take up the dead air space. Da, 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 da.
Well, I'm here waiting for Big Show to get into the studio. We're waiting so we can start the Stone Cold podcast. And once he gets here, we will start that podcast.
I fucking love Austin, it's great.
Just no bullshit.
He's got no subtlety, has he?
No, not at all.
Like if Drew was an angry, pissed off redneck, it'd be him.
Drink all your drinks. Especially if they're beers.
I'm gonna drink all your drinks. I'm gonna drink some whiskey. You're gonna drink some beer.
Alright, well, Wago, since you won Tap Out, you get first pick at...
No, he didn't win Tap
No,
Out.
he
I
did
lost
not.
Tap Out.
Oh, that's
I'll
right.
take it anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Alright, well, Drew, since you won Tap Out, you get to pick a number first. Pick a number 1 through 10.
I'm gonna go with 3 today.
Number 3?
Yep.
Alright, Drew, you have to book a wrestler, and one thing you have to... Everything else is optional of what you want to make for them. Like, you can discuss how they're going to debut, a feud they could do, a big moment they could have, what they're wearing, things like that. But one thing you absolutely must come up with is a name.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Alright. 1 minute is on the clock. Drew, your profession that you must book a wrestler for is a fisherman. Book
A
it.
fisherman. All right, so his name is going to be Johnny Hook. Okay, so pretty much this is what's
Ooh.
going to happen. His main event of WrestleMania 32. Undertaker, Shane McMahon. They're wrestling. It's amazing. Everyone's going and just batshing insane. The lights go out. Lights come back on, okay? You see the Undertaker being reeled up with a fishing net. It's going. We don't know what's happening. We go to the top. Johnny Hook, that son of a bitch, steals the moment from everyone. The Undertaker can't compete. But wait, he cuts the line. Undertaker falls. Shane McMahon gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Shane McMahon gets control of the company. But pretty much that's pretty much all he is. He just has to wear that onesie thing so he could just stand in the water and fish. He has the fisher hat. And pretty much he's going to go for the Hooker's leg for the finisher.
Time.
I liked Wazili's idea, Kurt Angler.
Kurt Angler.
That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's way better than anything Drew just said. You know,
Yeah.
Drew, I think one thing you forgot is that they're in a Hell in a Cell match that has a roof on it.
Well, no, he can put it through the holes and then hook him and reel him up.
Oh, so like while he's bringing him up, he's just gonna like bash Undertaker's head against the top of the cage.
It'd be great.
No, you don't see.
Like on the way up, he gets knocked out when he hits the roof.
He realizes he can't get him, so he just cut the line. That's why I did it.
TNA, cut the line.
Or if you wanted to be comical, Taker sticks his head through the cell to grab him, and he's like, "Oh fuck," lets him go.
Gets like scared, like
Yeah.
All right, away go.
Okay. When you're making your decision, that was funny, but Drew didn't say that. I did.
No, exactly. All right, well, away go. It's your turn.
I don't know. I think I did.
Pick a number between 1 and 10 that is not 3.
Can I pick 3?
No.
Nah. All right, I'll pick 7.
7. All right, Wago. You have to book
7.
a wrestler that is a baker. Book it.
A baker. Mm-hmm. Well, you've heard. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Well, you need to see and smell what this guy is baking, because he is baking ass whoopings left and right, and he is called Jacob Loaf. And he has the personality of a loaf of bread. He comes out there every week and just bores people to absolute tears. And I'm really trying hard with this one. He finally finds his ultimate opponent for WrestleMania. It's Kane. See, Kane has a love for toast. And Kane is going to burn him alive and toast him. And making a toast loaf.
You missed it.
All right, well, that's time there.
I really hope the reason why you laughed was because Ben said the Underbaker.
Yeah, the Underbaker was awesome.
Good, I'm glad that was why
The
you laughed.
chat is better at this game than you guys. All right, well, chat, who do you think won tonight? Seems like we already have one vote for Drew from Silent Wind to Doom. We'll give you guys a little bit of time to do that. But while we're waiting for you to do that, I'm going to take a moment to just do some general announcements for the show. If you enjoyed us this week, we are live every single week here on Monday nights following Raw. Tune your browsers to megapowersradio.com. And if you also cannot make it there, we are available on archive form, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, YouTube, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found, including links to all these can be found on smarkoutmoment.com, a site with lots of other wrestling stuff on it. So it looks like it's pretty much a unanimous decision for Drew. So, sorry, Wago, you weren't able to get away with this one. You lost both games tonight. Wah, wah, wah.
You know what sucks? You started out good with if you smell what The Rock is cooking. I don't know how you could have just keep the ball rolling from there.
There's not many baker puns, or if there is, I couldn't think of them.
All right, well, our winner, Drew White.
Ooh. I was in high school when the song came out.
Oh my god, you're fucking depressing.
Celebration music. All right. So, Drew.
And it's pulled for copyright infringement.
Nope, because you don't understand copyright law, because anything under 30 seconds is okay to use. Drew, you get to pick how Wago has to do this.
All right. So, if anyone in the chats have a few ideas, I know Silent One of Doom said...
He just gave you a whole list.
He gave a whole list of black
I'm not
people to choose
touching
from.
anything racist sensitive, so I know Silent Wind of Doom is an absolute racist, but I won't be doing those.
Yeah, none of those are necessarily racist.
Oh no, I'm just taking a piss.
I mean, maybe like Nelson Mandela. I don't even know how you would do a Nelson Mandela impression.
Actually, there was this sitcom of Nelson Mandela for a while in the UK where they had him come out and basically sell drugs.
Nelson Mandela.
I'm actually disappointed in Morgan Freeman. He did the voiceover for a Hillary Clinton campaign commercial. Yeah. That sucked. So,
what do you want Wago to do it in? Hey guys, we're also less than 100 hearts away from 1,000. So you're going this far, you might as well not stop. Get it in
exactly.
there.
Kenneth Cage says like a Subway commercial, but what Subway commercial? Yeah. I really watch Subway commercials.
There's no memorable Subway commercial.
Wago with his new Subway.
No, you want to know how? I kind of want
the
you to
$5 footlong commercial.
You could. I actually kind of want him to do it as Dean Ambrose, the way he said thanks to Triple H. But I don't know.
Oh, as the Renee and Natalya version of the Subway commercial.
You could do that.
Oh.
So yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay,
That
I'll
sounds
do
fun.
that. Oh, wow, guys. At frickin' Duncan. That's such a great Twitter handle.
It's actually Joseph White.
Oh, it's at Joseph White now.
Oh, that's even nicer.
It'd be even nicer. It was nice how you changed it and didn't say anything, though. That's great.
No, it's been Joseph White this whole time.
No one cares, Drew. Oh, it's so great when you don't talk. And check out Smark Out Moment. Actually, don't, because he didn't show up tonight. Actually, do it. It's a pretty rad website. We do Smack Talk on there every week. It's so nice. We all communicate with each other. We all talk over each other. It's kind of awkward. It's so great. Check out us every week on megapowersradio.com. And until then, check out what I'm doing with at Stephen Wago, because I'm not really that nice, but it's funny.
He didn't throw an important plug out there, and that's go to the Mega Maniacs and vote on that poll so we can do the Buff Bagwell Superstar scores.
Yes, yeah, and make sure you vote on the one that says we do both. Because for some reason, even though Tony did say at the end of the last Smack Talk episode he would put an option to vote for only Buff Bagwell, he did not put that there. So you've got to make sure you put the one for both. Otherwise, all the other options... See, that's another thing he did to skew the poll. He made one option that you would do Buff Bagwell, and then like 5 of them where you don't do Buff Bagwell.
So basically what we're saying is tweet Tony. What's his Twitter? At Tony Mango, like the body parts, and say, fuck you, Buff Bagwell all show.
See, Silent Wood of Doom gets this. He said, wait, why is there even a vote? He said he'd do Buff Bagwell weeks ago. Exactly.
He said we'd do this like a year ago.
Yeah, if you listen back to the Steve Blackman one, he said we'll do Buff Bagwell next.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lie. We did Roman Reigns later that episode.
And then we did Daniel Bryan.
And Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I think Jericho. Wasn't Lesnar between that too?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Roddy Piper, because he died. We did quite a few since that one.
Well, there.
So basically, Tony doesn't care about your votes. He's going to fuck you over, and he's going to continue putting matches in multiple videos.
So whatever you do is you go to the Mega Maniacs group, post stuff in support of doing Buff Bagwell with the hashtag #FeelTheBuff. Because this is a grassroots movement. We're trying to get the Buff Bagwell show. And I'm just putting it out there. If you guys think my ridiculous suggestions for Superstar scores ends with Buff Bagwell, I already know who the next person I'll be campaigning for is.
Can you give us a hint? Even one word?
No, you're going to have to listen to Smack Talk to find out, because I'll reveal it at the end of that.
No, you should only reveal it if he does Buff.
Well, it's true, because if he doesn't do Buff, I still have to campaign for Buff.
Yeah, you can't just jump off your things. My words are just.
I can't lose track of the stuff.
Yeah,
gotta do that
stuff.
Anyway, we went way past the plugs here, but we had a lot to talk about and get out there. So, yeah, vote for that in Mega Maniacs group, and just hang out in the Mega Maniacs group in general. But until next time, folks, we hope you enjoyed this edition of the Raw Post Show. For Drew White, for Stephen Huego, I'm Mike Payton, and we'll catch y'all on the flip flop.
This show so much better now that the count isn't on it anymore.